Hey guys, back here with another video, and in this video, I want to talk about the reports that have been going around for at least 2 days, I believe, for like about a few days now, about the reports of Alfred Molina coming out and saying that Doc Ock is going to return in Spider-Man No Way Home, and that it is, in fact, going to be his version of the character from Spider-Man 2, yes, the same one from Spider-Man 2 is going to be in this one, and oh my goodness, I have so many thoughts about this subject, 'cause I have a lot to say about this, but I'm gonna read this article first to, for those that haven't heard the news yet. Well, I'm pretty sure a majority of you have read the news, but I'm just gonna read through this article and like kind of analyze it and just give my thoughts on it after I finish reading part of it. I'm not going to read the full thing, but I'm going to read like some of the important parts of this report. But oh man, I have a lot of thoughts on this. I was just in a recent live stream on Evan Falarka's channel. If you want to go watch that live stream, I'll leave a link to the live stream in the description down below. It's only like an hour and a half long, but I unfortunately joined in late on that stream. I joined in like pretty much the last minute. Like I was on there for like literally the last couple of minutes of the stream, so I didn't get like a whole bunch to say about the subject like a lot of the other guys like Evan, Franco, and Ghosty were, since I think because I hadn't watched the full thing because I joined in late by the time it reached its 1 hour mark. But you know, based off of what I have watched, it seems like they had a lot to say, and I'm assuming they all three of them had been on the stream since the start of the stream, but I unfortunately joined in late. But I'll leave a link to that stream if anyone wants to watch it down below. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and read this article and just give some of my thoughts about it. When Alfred Molina was first invited to reprise his role as the villainous Otto Octavius in Spider-Man No Way Home, the forthcoming third installment of the Marvel Cinematic Universe Spider-Man films, led by Tom Holland, he said he was told to keep it quiet. When we were shooting it, we were all under orders not to talk about it because it was supposed to be some great big secret. Molina said with a laugh during an interview with Variety about his role in the Oscar nominated Promising Young Woman. But it's all over the internet. I actually described myself as the worst kept secret in Hollywood. Instead, not only did Molina confirm his involvement in No Way Home, he happily detailed his experience making the movie and returning to a part he first played in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2 in 2004. It was wonderful, he said. It was very interesting going back after 17 years to play the same role, given that in the intervening years, I now have two chins, a Waddle, I believe that's how you pronounce that. Apologize if I butchered that. Crow's feet and a slightly dodgy lower back. When the actor asked John Watts, the director of No Way Home, how the movie would bring Doc Ock back, since, as he pointed out, I died, Molina said the director told him, in this universe, no one really dies. Alright, before I go on with this article, I'm just gonna quickly say, like, what are you doing, John Watts? What are you doing? Ugh. Anyway, I'm gonna continue this before I give my thoughts. In Spider-Man 2, Molina played scientist Otto Octavius, who was possessed to be a mentor to Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker when a lab accident turns him into the murderous Dr. Octopus, or Doc Ock for short, so named for the four mechanical arms that fused into his back. On the Order's Harry Osborn, the tentacled, unhinged Doc Ock's obsession with perfecting his experimental fusion reactor sets him against Peter or Spider-Man and Mary Jane and endangers all of New York City. In the movie's climactic scene, Peter appeals to Otto's good side, and he drowns himself in his reactor in the East River before the city is destroyed. In their early conversations, Molino said Watts told him that the movie will pick up Doc Ock's story from that moment in the river, which in a franchise that include multiverses, time travel, and diverging timelines seems possible enough. Molina's concerns were more practical. He said that he asked Watts how they were going to deal with the fact that at 64, he's aged since the 2004 film. He just looked at me. Well, all right. So this part, they're just talking about how they're basically going to de-age him in the movie since Alfred Molina is like in his late 60s now, and that he's, you know, wanting to make sure or whatever that they de-age him or whatever. So, all right, I'm gonna skip to uh. All right, I'll just skip to this part right here. Neither Sony Pictures nor Marvel Studios, which are co-producing Spider-Man No Way Home, has confirmed Molina's return. But news of his casting leaked last year, along with reports that Jamie Foxx will also appear as Electro, the villain he played in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Later, Zendaya, another Spider-Man lead actor, seemingly confirmed Molina's casting during a conversation with Corey Mulgane. I apologize if I got that wrong. For Variety's Actors on Actor series. The casting of Molina and Fox will unite the three generations of Spider-Man movies, the Maguire Raimi cycle, the Mark Webb, Andrew Garfield installments, and the newest Spider-Mans, starring Tom Holland and directed by Watts. No Way Home is currently scheduled to a Christmas time release on December 17th, 2021. And hopefully it stays that way since a bunch of movies have been getting delayed because of COVID. But anyway, all right, I've read part of the article. If you want to read the full thing, leave a link. I'll leave a link to the article in the description down below. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about this. So, honestly, you know, as I'm sure you guys can tell, just based off of the article, based on what I know, they're bringing back because he's coming back as Doc Ock, but he's playing the same version that was from Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2, and it's the No Way Home is going to pick up where that moment from Spider-Man 2 left off, and it seems like he's gonna be alive to be in No Way Home, and I mean, yeah, sure, it may be cool to see Alfred Molina as Doc Ock again, or even like Jamie Foxx as Electro again, but like in all honesty, I just feel like this is a bit of fan service to me because, and it kind of, honestly, in a way, it just kind of makes me feel bad for not just the MCU's version of Spider-Man and his mythos or whatever, but it also makes me feel bad for Tom Holland's version of the character because these characters aren't getting their own versions for the MCU. Like, we're not having a different actor play as Doc Ock or Electro so then they can have their own interpretation for the MCU. Instead, we're getting the same actors playing those characters, and not just that, but it's going to be the same version of the characters that they played from their own retrospective universes. Like in this case, Alfred Molina is Doc Ock from Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2, and then Jamie Foxx Electro from Amazing Spider-Man 2. Still the same version of the character, but they're going to be in the MCU now. It's just, if you ask me, it's just a bunch of fan service to me. And honestly, based off of this report, I would not be surprised since Alfred is playing the same version from the second Toby film. I would not be surprised if this is the same case for Jamie Foxx's Electro, because in all honesty, based on this report, even though the studios haven't confirmed his return, because it's Molina that returned his, it's Molina that confirmed his return as the character. I would not be surprised if this is the same case for Electro, where he's coming back as the same version from Amazing Spider-Man 2, and I have no idea how in the movie, which if that is the case based on this report for Alfred Molina. This may be the same case for Electro. I have no idea how they're gonna bring Electro back into No Way Home, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But honestly, sorry, this is just so much for me to take because like I don't understand what's going on with these people involved with these MCU Spider-Man films. And also something I should point out, this is something that a Ghosty from that live stream I mentioned earlier pointed out, and I didn't know this until because I'm pretty sure it was him that mentioned this, but he pointed out when I was in that live stream just a few days ago that the writers of the MCU films have never seen any of the past Spider-Man films, and oh my gosh, I was so shocked when I learned about that because I'm like, what? How on earth have you not seen the previous movies? I mean, I understand they may not have seen it because they want to keep the MCU's version like their own interpretation. Like, but what the heck? Like, what are you doing? Like, why are you getting certain people to work on these certain things? Because based on what we got in Homecoming and Far From Home, like it's not like the greatest live action interpretation of the character ever. I mean, I don't know what's going on with these people making these MCU Spider-Man films. Like John Watts, honestly, especially based on interviews that he's had when making the first two Spider-Man movies, I feel like he's like a wrong pick for these Spider-Man movies because it seems to me he does not understand the character of Spider-Man based on how he's handled the character and the other Spider-Man characters in his films. Like, oh, it's just so annoying to me. Like, I don't understand why he like also like this guy is also going to be the same guy making the MCU Fantastic Four film, which may be concerning to me, but we'll just have to wait and see when that movie comes out. But anyway, back on track here because I don't want to get too off topic here because I have like so much going on in my mind. My biggest worry for Alfred coming back as Doc Ock from Spider-Man 2 for No Way Home is that if they try and make him like a baddie after what happened in Spider-Man 2, like, oh my gosh, it's gonna be so annoying because if they try and make him a baddie in No Way Home or try and like write him in like a stupid or dumb way. Well, especially if they make him a baddie in that movie, it's gonna make his character arc in Spider-Man 2 look pointless because by the end of it, he like literally sacrifices himself in order to, stop the fusion reactor and, save everyone and stuff. And that's gonna completely undermine that, which is why I'm not like a big fan of this if this turns out to be the case, but we'll just have to wait and see when the movie comes out because I don't want this movie to be bad. I don't want the movie to be bad. I want it to be good, which is why I'm voicing out my constructive criticisms or any worries that I have for even like people like Evan are very, worried about this movie based on the reports that we have because like it seems like it's for No Way Home it's going to be focusing on a lot of stuff like it's going to have Doc Ock, it's going to have Alfred Molina's Doc Ock from Spider-Man 2, then Jamie Foxx's Electro from Amazing Spider-Man 2, and not just that but we're apparently even though it's not confirmed because it's like a rumor going around, we may have Spider-Verse in the movie as well, so we may have Toby and Andrew, and yeah, sure, it may be cool to see them again in this movie, but I feel like it's just a bit of too much fan service to put them in the film, and honestly, I have a feeling that if they put them in the film, if they put them in the film, it's gonna be just to kill them off, which I hope isn't the case, but if it is, then oh my gosh, that's gonna be just super annoying to deal with because honestly, I don't think they should use Spider-Verse for No Way Home because in all honesty, even though the multiverse was like introduced in Far From Home, the previous Spidey MCU film, honestly, I feel like I think people will agree. Think it's way too early to do Spider-Verse in this movie. I mean, you can do it in like a future movie, that's fine, but I'm not sure this is the right time to be doing a Spider-Verse movie with Andrew and Toby right now because I would prefer having build up within the next couple of movies first and then have Spider-Verse as a movie when in like a future movie within like the next couple of movies or whatever. I would have preferred it that way because I feel like with all of these things they're trying to put in No Way Home, it's gonna take away the focus on Tom's story. And honestly, like I feel bad for Tom Holland's version of the character because it seems like they're trying to put all these things in No Way Home, but instead of trying to focus on Tom's story and finishing and continuing his story for his version of the character, they're instead shoving on all of these things, Spider-Verse, Doc Ock, and Electro, and focus on that rather than focus on Tom's rather than focus on the story of Tom's version of the character. Like you understand what I'm saying here? Like I'm pretty sure you guys get my point because like it's just so frustrating that this could be the case if these reports are true with like Spider-Verse and stuff because honestly that should be in a future movie. Just continue and finish Tom's story and save that for a future movie. Like honestly I think that's the way it should have been, but you know we'll just have to wait and see if these Spider-Verse reports turn out to be true because I want Tom's version of the character to be good because he was freaking amazing in Civil War and even in Infinity War and Endgame. But I feel like when it comes to his own solo films in the MCU, they're not like the best movies of the character or like the best version of the character. And that, kind of bothers me and a lot of Spider Man fans as well. So I think I think I pretty much covered everything I wanted to say in this video because that's pretty much, I mean, maybe I'll make another video on this, who knows, because I kind of felt like I kind of went on a bit of, maybe a little bit of a rant here, but, I just wanted to get my thoughts out of the way on this subject, but yeah, that's all I really have to say in this video. What do you guys feel about Alfred coming back as Doc Ock from Spider-Man 2 or having Spider-Verse in No Way Home? Feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments down below. And that's going to be it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. And remember to stay safe and healthy out there no matter where you are in the world during these difficult times. And I will see you all in the next video. Peace.